One of the biggest anxieties I had before we started homeschooling the children was self-doubt. I'm not really that smart. I'm not smart enough to be educating my kids. But what I've learned along this journey is that there are other people out there to help you through the process. Today, Ed hooked us up with a real judge to help us, me and my children, learn about the judicial branch, the executive branch, the legislative branch, by giving us a hands-on opportunity to go into the courthouse and see exactly how does a courthouse ran. Not gonna lie, I've never actually had to go to court for anything on the opposing side of court. So I'm actually really excited to see how do things actually work in court, how are laws made, and man, I'm really excited. So let's go.
Gentlemen, good to have you.
Good.
Nice to have you. Y'all have a seat.
Thank you. Today we're going to learn about the 3 branches of government at an actual North Carolina courthouse.
Okay, so welcome to the Court of Appeals. The first thing I want to make sure y'all understand is, like the federal government, in North Carolina, we have 3 branches of government. We have the executive, and the head of the executive is the governor. We have the legislative, which is like the General Assembly, which is like the federal Congress. And then we have the court system. And the head of the court system is our Supreme Court across the street. And the legislative branch is who drafts and makes the laws, but the governor has to sign the laws and agree to it. And the governor's charged with enforcing the law, so that he's in charge of the SBI and the police departments and things like that. And what we do is handle the cases when people are charged with a crime, and we interpret the laws. And that's what we do. So just before we get started with anything, I just wanted to explain, make sure y'all are aware there are 3 branches of government. During the Revolutionary War, who was in control of North Carolina? What country?
Nazis?
No.
Not that one, sorry.
No, this is 1776. 1776. The American Revolution, we fought the British.
The British, so is it?
The British.
I meant to say British.
Yeah, it's the British. And but back then, the British would send somebody over here that was the governor of North Carolina. He ruled like a dictator, sort of like you were talking about. So when we broke away from Britain, we had a governor, but we gave the governor very little power. And the legislative, who's our representatives that we elect, they had most of the power. So they were there. Down Fayetteville Street, if you look down Fayetteville Street at the bottom of the hill, it used to be where the governor's mansion was. And so when they built Raleigh, they intentionally put him downhill because they wanted him to look up at the legislative building like, you have no power, that's why we're putting you at the bottom of the hill. But the judicial branch, the main court didn't have a building. They just had to meet wherever they could. But they built this building 110 years ago, and this housed our state Supreme Court, which is our highest court. And there were 7 justices, and that's why there's 7 spots. But then they moved across the street in 1940. And so about 50, 60 years ago, they formed our court. We're the 2nd highest court, and this is where we meet. So in every courthouse, you would find a courtroom, and it wouldn't look exactly like this. I don't know if you've ever seen a court like seen something on TV, but usually over here you would have a box where the jury would sit, and up here would be a judge and a witness stand. That's not what we do, but at those courthouses, you have those kind of courtrooms, and they're basically 2 types of trials. There's civil trials and criminal trials, and I want to explain to you the difference. Tell me your name again. Your name? August. If I take a baseball bat and hit you over the head, you can sue me for money because I've injured you, right? Mm-hmm. And you could probably sue me for whatever your hospital bills are and things like that. And you would sue me and you'd sit there, I'd sit here, and you'd have to convince the jury that I did it and I was at fault, and you'd have to tell them how much money you're entitled to. But whether you sue me or not, it's against the law to hit somebody. It's obviously against the law to hit somebody with a baseball bat. So the state may try me for a crime, and that's not you versus me, it's the state versus me. And the state versus me is to put me in jail. You versus me is for me to give you money. It doesn't put me in jail, it's just me. But the state could try me for a crime, and it depends what they could convict me of. If I hit you in the head with a baseball bat, that's a crime, right? But what is it? Is it assault? Yes, that's a bad crime, but if they can prove that it's assault with a deadly weapon, it's a worse crime. So is a baseball bat a deadly weapon or not? Now, what we do here is if you lose your trial, you have the right to appeal it. And we sit up here and all we do is decide you get a new trial. And we don't get to second guess what the jury found, because juries get to decide what happened. We just decide was the law explained correctly. And I want to give you an example. I have 5 children. I have 2 sons. I told my older son, Saturday, y'all can go. I told my son, Matt, I said, Matt, I'm going to take you to the Carolina State football game this Saturday. He was so excited. But on Monday afternoon, 5 days before the game, he got in trouble. He did something stupid at the house. I can't remember what he did. But I said, Matt, you cannot go. I'm going to take Sam, your younger brother. He said, Dad, no, take me. Punish me some other way. I said, okay, Matt. Matt, you may not go out for the rest of the week and play with your friends. You may not go out and play with your friends for the rest of the week. If you do that, I'll take you to the game Saturday. So I came home Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. He was home every night like he was supposed to be. Well, Friday, he goes to school, and they had early release that day. Sometimes schools have early release, like at noon. I came by the house at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and he was down. I walked down in the basement. He was downstairs playing. Do y'all ever play that game, the Wii? Remember the Wii game? He was playing on a Wii with one of the neighborhood kids. And so I walked downstairs and said, Matt, you broke my rule. You cannot go to the game. And he proceeded to say, no, Dad, I did not break your rule. You said, Dad, you said, I could not go out and play with my friends for the rest of the week. So why do you think he didn't think he broke my rule?
Because he didn't technically go outside.
Dad, you said I could not go out. And so we don't need a jury to determine what happens. We know exactly what happens. The question is, what did my rule mean? And see, that's what the courts do. We have to decide what that means. That's what we do is, because we want to make sure that if you get charged with a crime or you get charged with a crime, whatever the crime means, it means the same thing for both of you. It shouldn't mean anything different. Now, again, juries get to decide who's telling the truth. So if you went out and shot somebody and swore it was in self-defense and 50 witnesses said, no, you did it on purpose and you did it if the jury believes you, they'll find you not guilty. There's nothing we can do about it. Even though I might have believed the other witnesses, they get to decide who's telling the truth. We just determine what the law means to make sure it was applied correctly. That's what we do. And that was excellent the way y'all did that. That's what a decision looks like here. Sometimes we'll give people a new trial because the trial court messed up somehow. That's just sort of what we do. But we have 100 counties in North Carolina, and so they come from all 100 counties, whether it's from the mountains or the beach. So they all come to Raleigh because we're the state capital. And if you don't like the decision that we came up with, you can take it across the street to the Supreme Court, which is the highest court, and they can make the decision there. And so that's sort of basically what we do here. So y'all do a lot of this. Where other places do y'all? Yeah, so it's on. So if you hit start, you can play. Try it. Hit start, and that's the little button voice there.
All right, we just got back from the North Carolina courthouse, and the kids are already out on their four-wheelers and dirt bikes. But listen, I think it's really, really important for your kids at the earliest age possible to understand the 3 branches of government. Those are fundamentals that everybody should have, so that you can build on those as they grow up and they mature. But man, what a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I never knew how the court systems worked exactly. I've never even been in one like that. So just to go inside and to talk to a real judge and see how they question things and they come up with new laws and legislation. It's all just really, really cool stuff. So, yeah, all in all, what a really great day. Parenting is hard, but it's the most important job on the planet. We owe it to our children to do our best. So keep at it and stay fair. We'll see you guys on the next adventure. Hey, hon, we're home.